So I went through all that and I said to myself, the only person that can pull you out of this dungeon is you. Better you have to stop being a victim. Better you cannot keep saying, or like you cannot keep going through life and now keep saying, okay, it was because my father was like this, it was because I came from a family like this, and that is the reason why you should be like this. No, you can't keep blaming yourself because of your past experiences. You have to make a change. There has to be a change. Do you understand? Like, what exactly is the problem? Okay, you have gone through what you have gone through. Are you going to dwell there? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diary of an Explorer again. You know it's better, Queen. So yeah, I've been stressed of late, trying to prepare for the graduation. Lily Pinnacle's graduation is very soon, and bed travels and work and everything. It hasn't been an easy one, and I said I wanted to be consistent in giving out videos every week. So I was speaking to a friend of mine, and a friend of mine told, like, we were just cracking a joke, and that's how they were like, Better, do you know that you're a loner? Do you know you are mostly secluded and by yourself? And somehow I started to think, what those people are saying, there's a bit of a truth in it. And it made me realize that my life has shaped into, in fact, I have evolved. My life has shaped into something, will I say, more meaningful? Yes, meaningful, but with a lot of scars. And I wanted to share my story. I know that we all sometimes go through some things in life to be able to inspire others, to make them know that, okay, this is how I went through this and this is how I was able to survive from it. And so I'm just here to share my story. Now, who is Bethel? I know most times people will see the whole Bethel traveling around the world, always grooving, enjoying, and things that is just what life is about. Yes, I understand that social media really just shows us the other part of life, like the flashy and the sweet part of life. But honestly, I know that there's a part that we don't really know about, and I will just give a brief about myself. And I pray I don't get emotional while doing this video, because I grew up in a home. I grew up with my mom, so I was single-handedly trained by my mother. I did not have a present father. I grew up in an abusive home, and that really changed the way I saw life. I saw life from a very different aspect. I saw life as being mean and cruel. I saw my mom having to fight for us to have a life. I saw how she had to struggle. In fact, one of the reasons that made me to say I must stand on my own, because I could literally see when one of the times when my dad said to my mom, okay, we are done. You have to leave the house. This marriage is not going to continue. And my mom had to start from the scratch. And she had two children. So having to carry those two children to now start life, I could literally see my mom suffer to build to what she was able to build to. So that alone made me to say to myself, I'm not going to allow any man to useless my life. I'm not going to depend on a man so much to the point where I don't have a life. I'm going to first create a a name for myself, and whatever anybody brings to the table is going to be an additional one. So, but then I want to start first from when I first enrolled into Bogomolet. I went to Bogomolet National Medical University in Kiev. So when I first got to Kiev, okay, so the thing, my secondary school was quite a very, it was a church school, and they were too strict. They didn't really allow me to explore life, and apparently they were just too strict for me. That when I went to Ukraine, all I wanted to do was to experience life. All I wanted to do was to have fun. All I didn't even care about if there was going to be like any consequences of the fun I was having. I just wanted to have the fun. And that was what my first and second year in Ukraine really was about. And then I remember even having to meet Mr. A. Mr. A almost ruined my life because when you wanted to, when as a child you want to experience life to the fullest, forgetting that, okay, there's this side of life and there's that side of life, right? In fact, it got that bad then in school that I was even almost getting distracted from my academics and all because I was in a very toxic relationship, in a relationship where, so you see the thing, right? Having an absent father made me almost want to overcompensate. There was that thing of just wanting to overcompensate to anybody that was around me. So when I met the guy I met in Ukraine and we started dating, I almost wanted to overcompensate and in that way even trying to hurt my own feelings. And that was how it all started from. And lo and behold, somehow my mom really found out about that relationship and she prayed me out of it. She was like, see, I'm not going to rest till that relationship was broken. So it was too toxic because I was practically providing for this person and still trying to see, making this person can love me for what I was doing. But all that love I was trying to give away was not coming back to me. And it made me sad for days. I was just like, hmm, well, it's all right. Felt as though the moment I left that particular relationship, my life blossomed. I I left a lot of vices, right? I started to see life from a different aspect. And there was one fuck up I did. Because like there are times when if you say the part where you did good, you also talk about the part where you messed up. And that is what I believe is accountability. So what I did when I was with that guy in Ukraine was I somehow secluded myself away from my friends. I saw the guy as the center of my world. I no longer kept other friends, and this particular, and if it was, assuming it was even a guy that really liked you to the point that liked your well being, it would have made sense. But for me, it just did not make sense. It didn't make sense, but thank God. Do you know why I'm happy? I was able to catch myself. Yes, I caught myself in second year. I know first year was just a lot of this thing, but I caught myself. I was like, better. Your mom suffered to make you leave Nigeria. Your mom cannot be suffering in Nigeria to send you abroad and you just want to live a stupid life. Like, who are you hurting? Are you hurting your mom? Don't you think you're hurting yourself? Because hurting your mother is hurting yourself. And why are you spending on a man when you are not working? It's not like you're doing a job. If you're doing a job, you can't be using from the allowance that they're getting to you to be able to do. Like, can you make it make sense? This woman is suffering to get this money. So can you at least cut me some slack? So lo and behold, thankfully, I had the courage to tell the guy that I was done and I can't really do this anymore. And my life started to take a new form. I started attending classes more often. I started becoming serious in my classworks. In fact, most times my score in school drastically changed. I started doing better, getting A's and B's. Like life became better, right? Because that really exposed me to some part that I really did not want to. But do you know one thing? I'm excited because sometimes in life it's good to go through some parts, like this kind of thing where, okay, they might call it youthful exuberance, but yes, at the end of the day, it's better you did it then than coming to do it now, if you get what I mean. So after going through that first toxic relationship and not even still having a present father, because I remember what really broke me was when I think when I traveled, got to Ukraine, I called my dad. I'm like, I'm now in Ukraine. What's up? He told me when he wanted to speak to me, he was going to call me, and he didn't call me for like over several years. So when I remember that, that even really affected my relationship with men. I didn't really want to have anything to do with anybody. I was just like, I beg, let me just be on my own. But one thing stood out. What was that thing that stood out for me? I didn't want, you see, anytime I remember what my mom went through, Every time I remember that if my mom was not a resilient, strong, hardworking woman, I would have not even smelled Ukraine. I would have not smelled abroad. I would have not smelled anything. Do you understand? So that made me understand that, see, Bethel, this life, you need to work hard. You need to create an identity for yourself. You need to make sure you make it. You need to know what is it that was the reason why God created you. Why are you on this earth? I started asking myself this question: how can I make my mom proud? Because my mom was literally my everything. Like, she was my sister, because I was basically, obviously, the only daughter. So you can imagine how daughters are close to their mom and everything. So I needed to have a reform and a change in life, right? So I think while in Ukraine was fun, and one thing I liked my mom for was she was just readily available to give me anything I wanted, right? So most times if I wanted to travel for vacations, in fact, all my vacations were just really sponsored by my mother. So she wanted to give me the life that she said to me, Sibete, I'm going to give you that life so that you don't want it from another man, and you understand that you only can work hard to get your money. Whatever a man gives to you is bonus. So my mom made me to become an independent woman. My mom made me to understand that you can stand on your own. You don't need someone else to survive. Like, with God, you can do it. Do you understand? So I think I got back from United States. When I got back to Ukraine, I became extremely sick. I was wondering, what on earth could this be? I lost drastic weight. It was not funny. I thought I was going to die, because practically it wasn't funny. I thought I was not going to survive this. In fact, when I figured out that, okay, so I did something very funny. I would call that like a leap of faith, right? When I found out what was wrong with me, and it got to the point that I needed to be operated on. I needed to go for a surgery. I said to myself, my mom was scared. Are you sure you not come to the US to do this surgery? Are you sure it has to be in the Ukraine? Are you sure they can do it well? Okay, send me the CT scan report. Are you sure this? Are you sure that? First, I needed to travel. I said to myself, you see, before I enter that theater for me to be operated on, let me go and live my best life. And I lived that vacation like it was going to be my last. And I'm not kidding, right? So what I did was, I already had a visa. I traveled to Norway. That was when I went to Norway and Sweden. If you see me on that vacation with the way I was shining my teeth, you will not know that anything was wrong. In fact, you will just be hailing me and saying, okay, you went on a vacation. Oh, you're snapping nice pictures. But there was a behind the scene. I went on that vacation. I said to myself, nothing is going to stop me from shining and smiling. And I said to God, you are not going to allow my enemies to laugh at me. I did not come this far just to end up a dead person. I did not come this far not to live life to the fullest. So I just went on the vacation. When I came back, so I went on the vacation, and I knew that, okay, let's say on the 22nd of April, I I was going to go in the theater, right? So I came back, spent one more day, went to the hospital the next day. So I just needed that to rejuvenate my mind. And the good thing was that my brother was in the country as at that time, and then I had friends around me and all. But then luckily, and I don't think I would call that luck. I would say by the grace of God, I was healed. I bounced back. In fact, having to go back to school that period, because even after the surgery, it was not easy for the past, even the next 2 3 months. I was having to use taxis to go to school, because obviously now, finally, thank God, I was able to go through that, and I became better. And then, do you know the funny thing that even broke me during the period when I was sick? I was hearing like lots of gossip, like, okay, like I just don't know why when things are going well for you or you're traveling, I don't know why they're just enemies around, just wanting to say different negative things. Does life just have to be negative? Like you hear comments and you'll be like, what the are you saying? You hear people saying just a lot of things, but I stood to my truth. I stood to who I was, and for me, it's not about. For me, I tell people it's who you are when nobody is looking. I don't care about who you are when everybody is looking at you. Who are you when the doors are shut? Who are you when their cameras not there? Who are you? Who are you exactly? That is who you are. Like let's leave the whole when people are around you and all. Do you understand? And for me, standing to my truth is what I represent, right? Thankful to God. In fact, when God healed me, my mom even had to go to the church and give like a big cow and all those things. That's to tell you how excited I was about my healing journey. So that happened, and up until hmm, I think I had the shocker of my life. Okay, let's say I finished medical school. I go back to Nigeria. I said to myself, okay, now you're done with medicine. What next? What are you going to do next? Are you going to practice medicine? Are you going to be a full time traveler? I just said, let me first set up an office because obviously I've been running pet travel service even right from Ukraine and had people giving them consultation, travel advices, and all those stuff, right? So I decided to come and set up an office. So honestly, one of the reasons when I came back to Nigeria, in fact, my mom was shocked. My mom was like, "Are you coming back?" Because obviously now the way I was building up my travel histories and all, my mom expected that the moment I was done with school is to just find one country and go and relocate there. So why are you coming back to Nigeria? I said to her that okay, I wanted to build a brand voice and a brand presence in Nigeria. I wanted to be known in Nigeria too. And I also wanted to give and offer help to people that felt like travel is inaccessible. Do you understand? So I really had that hope that to make people understand that travel can be accessible to all. So, but apart from that fact, I was in a relationship with someone that I thought I was going to build my future with. And that was one of the reasons I said, okay, let me come back home because I'm not the type of lady to do distant relationships and all, right? I like being in close proximity with whoever I was dating. But only did I know that I was making a wrong decision and I entered into something that almost ruined my life. I might not really go into details of how it ruined my life, but there was something I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to connect two dots. Now, what is the dot? I thought when I just gave a story of how I was in a toxic relationship when I first entered Ukraine. And I remember when I was in that relationship, I said to myself, after that one, I'm not going to date anybody that is going to be foolish and rubbish and this and that. And I'm now more careful. I'm not going to attract rubbish men. In fact, anybody that is doing this near me, I'm going to out and not in relationship. The person is just going to be on his own. So me, I thought I had built that is like that tough skin that there's nothing a man cannot woo me, a man cannot deceive me. Little did I know that I was a baby in the game, babes. I was a baby in the game. Like when I think about this thing, sometimes I cry because I don't even know where to start from. But okay. So I thought the first Mr. A was the worst I had ever had, and I was not going to have something like that. Imagine coming back to Nigeria because of a man. Yes, you came back for business, but you also came back because you wanted to be close to your man and finding out that this person was living a lie to you and just finding out that who you sacrificed your life for did not even care, that who you were fighting your life for or could almost lay down your life for was not even caring about you. In fact, would even deny you in front of people and just a lot of things. Now, the part that broke me was when my mom was sick. I think that period I needed people around me. I wanted people to just be like, this thing where obviously the one person that you love the most, the person you respect the most, is going through a tough time and was sick. I was expecting an extra care and love from the person I said I called my so-called partner. But I just understood that that's how life is. You expect much from people and they give you even not even not what is bare minimum. They don't even go close to bare minimum. They give you breadcrumbs, like something really little. But do you know what that did to me? I'm sorry, I'm not going to go in details for this particular one, but I just know it shattered me. For the first time in my life, I started looking to go to see a therapist. I was so shattered that okay, being sick, my mom even had to die. After dying, nobody, like, my life was just rumbling. Imagine losing your mother and losing the love of your life on the same year. Practically, the fact I didn't commit suicide was just by the grace of God, because I was tired of life. And I said to myself, I think this was where the turning point of my life started. I said to myself, Bethel, for how long are you going to live for other people? For how long are you going to please other people instead of pleasing yourself? Bethel, for how long are you going to continue doing that? Okay, when I spoke with a therapist, honestly, I shout out to my therapist. I spoke to two beautiful ladies. One of my therapists was in United States, so I love that woman with all my heart. Like, she was a blessing. Then she is also a friend, and then the second one was also a therapist in Nigeria. And then the person said to me, "You need to trace back to your foundation. You need to understand, why are you trying to always overcompensate your love? Why do you feel the reason to let people, I don't know how to put it. Like, why do you do that to yourself? Why not have people in your circle that love you for who you are? Do you need to is there any need for that? Don't you think that the ones that love you will show you? Like, now also, I didn't understand that love was not a thing of mouth. Love was actions. You don't listen to what people say, and the moment you start seeing on and off, this person is on today, the person is off tomorrow, the person is on today, that person is not for you. The moment they start lying to you and telling you different lies, do you want to keep getting hurt? After all, relationships are not by force. Like, it's not necessary. Do you get? So I went through all that and I said to myself, the only person that can pull you out of this dungeon is you. Better you have to stop being a victim. Better you cannot keep saying, or like, you cannot keep going through life and now keep saying, okay, it was because my father was like this, it was because I came from a family like this, and that is the reason why you should be like this. No, you can't keep blaming yourself because of your past experiences. You have to make a change. There has to be a change. Do you understand? Like, what exactly is the problem? Okay, you have gone through what you have gone through. Are you going to dwell there? Okay, you gave a man your almost 3 or 4 years of your life, and you were faithful and honest to him, and he did not stay. He was still following other women and lying to you. Okay, is that the end of the world? No, it's not. And then that brings me back to when people were saying, okay, better you are turning to be a loner. Yes, it's almost like a coping mechanism. It's like, I don't want to bring people close to hurt me again. I don't know. I want to be sure the person has genuine intention before the person can come close to me. So honestly, I don't have much to say. I'm even already getting emotional about this particular conversation, because it's like putting my life out there, and I don't know what is going to come with. But I really want to inspire people that are tired of life. I want to inspire people that have seen life in a way that sometimes they cry. They are like, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to suffer? You are not alone. Honestly, you are not alone, because I know that there are times when I asked God this question, especially when you know this person is toxic for you. Now, I'm not even just talking about just love, this one, that one. I just feel we just always want to have our people around us. So honestly, what I'm saying is, choose yourself, build your brand. There's a reason why God created you. I was listening to Miles Monroe sermons, and he said it. He said, "You, there's a reason why you are born. There's a unique reason why God created you. You did not just come to this world to just be a non-entity. Nah, you were created for a purpose. Please, ladies, please, guys, find your purpose. Find the reason why God brought you to this world and live your purpose unapologetically. Do not care about what other people are saying. Live you for you. Be happy. And that's the reason why I said to myself, you see, enjoyment, I'm going to enjoy for the rest of my life, baby girl. See, if you tell me I'm enjoying too much, it's your problem. It's your problem, because you see, this enjoyment, we are going to do it for the rest of my life, because nah. And apart from, okay, I'm talking about my stories today, but there are other people going through even worse. And in fact, there are people going through even worse. And one thing I just need to tell you is that if you think that you are in a pit, there are people in more pits, but that is why you need to sit yourself up and say, I need to stand up from that pit. And please, most importantly, put God at the center of your life. Let God be the reason why you are doing what you're doing. Love God and He will love you. Cherish God and He will cherish you. So this channel is just to make you understand that they are behind the scenes of our struggles. The fact that I told you that I traveled to 28 countries does not mean I just woke up one morning and started traveling to those countries. I needed to build myself, and I'm still building, because I feel like I've still not gotten to where I want to be, but I'm still grateful for where I am right now. Right? So this video is just to inspire young ladies, young men, people going through heart issues like relationship issues, people going through personal life struggles, family issues, that I love you. And when I say I love you from the depth of my heart. And I'm going to keep sharing more stories. I'll try as much as possible to make you understand, and I want us to be friends. I really want us all here to be friends, and I want us to talk, and I want us to be, do you understand, at ease. Do you get? So yes, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm sorry that I'm a bit dull, because obviously it's well. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll be taking you on more stories. I'll be letting you know how to live through life, and hopefully life will become a better place and life will be enjoyable. Mwah.